So, welcome everyone to the Lunch with the Ufro session at the Ufro World Day. My name is Michael Kleine and I am the Deputy Executive Director of the International Union of Forest Research Organizations, and in brief, as you all know, it's Ufro. I have a great pleasure of moderating this plenary session. Before we enter now into our official program, I would like to share some housekeeping announcements with you. This session, as you have seen, will be recorded and made publicly available during and after the Ufo World Day. Screenshots will also be taken during the session and used for communicating about the event. In case you prefer to remain anonymous, please turn off your camera and rename yourself. In case you are interested in sharing your own posts via social media, please use the hashtag Ufo World Day label. We are also pleased to introduce Maximilian Wagner, who will provide technical support throughout this session. In case you have technical difficulties, please send a message via the chat box and they will assist you. So in case anything is there, please write into the chat and this will be picked up by our able technical team led by Maximilian Wagner. Now let's start our official program with the toast by the President. If you have a glass of water or a cup of tea or any other beverage, we welcome you to join in the toast by switching on your camera and raising your glass with us at the end of the President's toast. I would like to invite now Ufro President John Parotta to share some welcome remarks. John, please.
Yes, thank you, Michael. It is my great pleasure to be with you here today for this Ufro World Day lunch session. I would like to welcome all of our participants from around the world, and especially those of you who are joining us from Asia and Oceania. I hope you have already been enjoying the rich menu of presentations and discussions on today's menu, organized by a variety of Ufro's units and member organizations. Ufro World Day is a unique interactive event designed to showcase the tremendous diversity and vitality of the Ufro network. Because this is Ufro's first ever global 24-hour event online, it is also an exciting experiment. It offers a great opportunity excuse me, to introduce colleagues from around the world to Ufro's global network for collaboration in forest science, and hopefully inspire you to join us as we work together to help to solve some of today's great environmental, economic, and social challenges. This event would not have been possible without the generous support provided by the Federal Ministry for Agriculture, Regions, and Tourism of the Republic of Austria, the host country of our Ufro headquarters. For this support, we are sincerely grateful. The impressive numbers of sessions and the wealth of information that has been organized and provided by Ufro divisions, task forces, special programs and projects, as well as Ufro member organizations for this event is truly amazing. I would also like to thank all of you who have contributed to this, to the Ufro World Day program, as well as the more than 2,500 colleagues and friends who have registered to participate. Why is this event so important? This past year and a half have been an extraordinarily challenging period of time for all of us. Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, large physical conferences, workshops, and training events, the activities that Ufro has traditionally relied on to catalyze our international collaboration just have not been possible. This has limited opportunities, especially for younger scientists and students, to become acquainted with and involved in Ufro's exciting and important work. But we have risen to the challenge. Our divisions, our task forces, our special programs have all made extraordinary and successful efforts to continue our networking activities through dozens of virtual conferences, webcasts, and workshops. This event, Ufro World Day, is a further expression of our commitment not only to maintain our networking, but to expand it by providing an opportunity for many more scientists and students to get involved. I especially welcome the young and early career scientists who have joined us today. UFRO provides an essential platform for voluntary research collaboration and the sharing of experience and insights among forest scientists worldwide. Such collaboration accelerates the pace of research and the development of locally adapted solutions to the wide range of forest-related challenges currently facing our world. I know from personal experience the value of getting involved in UFRO as an early career scientist. Back in the early 1990s, I was a young researcher working for the US Forest Service on the island of Puerto Rico in the Caribbean. At that time, there were relatively few forest scientists, or so I thought, who shared my interest in how planted forests could be used to rehabilitate degraded lands and restore functioning forest ecosystems. At that time, a senior colleague of mine proposed a new UFRO unit on tropical forest restoration and asked me to coordinate it. In those days, there was no social media, there was no internet. So I proceeded to write letters, remember those? To colleagues who I did not even know, but whose work in various countries in Asia, Australia, Latin America, and Africa, I had read about in scientific journals. The response was fantastic. Before I knew it, this new UFRO unit had something like 60 members, and soon we were organizing conferences, joint research projects, and co-authoring publications for peer-reviewed journals. And that was just the beginning. UFRO changed my life. It enriched my career and introduced me to colleagues from around the world who have since become great friends. It could happen to you too. So in the next roughly 2 hours, let us all enjoy lunch with UFRO and get a taste of what UFRO has to offer. I invite you all to raise your drinks and toast to the UFRO network and all it has to offer, to us as scientists and to the world that needs science-based solutions to solve forest-related challenges throughout the world. Cheers.
Yes, cheers, and thank you so much, John, for this welcome remark. And on this high note, it is our pleasure to invite a very honorable guest. As many of you know, UFRO headquarters are located in Vienna, Austria. UFRO's core activities are generously supported by the host country, Austria, since many, many years and on an ongoing basis. In addition to this, Ufo World Day has been made possible through financial support from the Austrian Ministry for Agriculture, Regions, and Tourism. We will now watch a video message by the Austrian Minister for Agriculture, Regions, and Tourism, Ms. Elisabeth Köstinger.
Dear participants and organizers of the Ufo World Day, I'm delighted to welcome you on behalf of the Republic of Austria as host country of UFRO headquarters. The Ufo World Day as a global digital forest science forum defies the challenges of the pandemic. It demonstrates new paths in showcasing the achievements of forest-related research. We rely on science and research, especially at the critical point in time, as we are not only facing a global pandemic, but also several consequences of climate change. This is the reason I recently initiated the Austrian Forest Fund supporting our forests with 350 million euros. The investments of this forest fund are dedicated to the future of climate-smart, diverse and resilient forests. I'm very happy that you're here today. It's a world exposition for forest-related science organizations as well as a platform for researchers and stakeholders to meet and talk. It also aims to have an active exchange of knowledge, especially invites young scientists to take an active role. The support of young professionals, and especially women in forestry, is one of my priorities. We organized the first ever virtual conference on forests in women's hand this spring, which was a huge success. From all around the world, we brought forest practitioners, scientists, and stakeholders together. Connecting people and scientists is crucial in developing sound and evidence-based policy options and support. The key forest issues such as forest and water interactions, forest-based bioeconomy and living with wildfires under a changing environment will be part of the next sessions. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the outcome of your sessions and wish you successful and good discussions. All the best.
Yeah, thank you very much, Minister Köstinger, for these remarks. Of course, again, IUFRO and the whole IUFRO community is really grateful for the support the Austrian government has provided since so many years now. And I think as a global network, as a voluntary network, having a home base in terms of the secretariat and basic infrastructure, also for communication and for internet and for all those basic things we need in the center, I think it's a great contribution. Actually, the Austrian government has been made and continues supporting IUFRO for the headquarters in Vienna. Well, dear colleagues, it's really now my pleasure, although I know that many of you, of course, know IUFRO already, but we have designed now the next session, which is called the Mixed World Day Platter in our lunch together. These are short presentations, a little bit about IUFRO, and even those seasoned IUFRO members and scientists, maybe you find here and there a small information which is new to you. And of course, those who join first time, of course, it should give you an overview about IUFRO. So the next item is this Mixed World Day Platter, some orientation to IUFRO. And we would like to start this with a 3-minute video about, we call it Explain It video on IUFRO, please.
Forests and trees are diverse and complex and cover about 1/3 of the world's land base. They grow in different climates and environments and on different soils. They come in all shapes and sizes, in groups or alone, have different needs and offer various goods and services. The livelihoods of more than 1/4 of the Earth's population depend on forests. This is why scientists worldwide want to know more about forests and trees. They want to understand exactly how they grow, what makes them healthy, and how to use them. And they want to help them cope with impacts from an increasing world population and climate change. As forests and trees are often at risk of being harmed or lost. For these scientists, the International Union of Forest Research Organizations, IUFRO, has developed a global network for voluntary cooperation, open to all individuals and organizations dedicated to forest and forest products research and related disciplines. It offers opportunities to meet, work together, exchange ideas, access information, and present findings. This avoids duplication, fosters scientific excellence, and increases the visibility of research. Scientists, like forests, are very diverse. They have different interests and needs and work in different environments. IUFRO provides a convenient structure where they can fit in perfectly. 9 divisions with their research groups and working parties are the backbone of this structure. They cover overarching forest-related themes such as silviculture, management, genetics, pests and diseases, economics or social and policy issues. For cross-cutting key topics, IUFRO establishes task forces. IUFRO also offers capacity building for researchers from economically disadvantaged countries. It seeks to strengthen education on forests and increase cooperation with related scientific disciplines and stakeholder groups. IUFRO participates in global policy processes and provides scientific analyses for decision makers, always with a view to reaching the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Currently, IUFRO unites more than 15,000 scientists in almost 700 member organizations in 125 countries. Together, they contribute to the knowledge needed to ensure that all people benefit now and in future years from the economic, social, and environmental goods and services forests and trees provide. Ufro, interconnecting forests, science, and people.
Well, so this was the explain it in a concise manner. What is Ufro? And as you have seen, Ufro interconnects forest, science, and people. And I would like now to share a little more detail about how it exactly works in Ufro. And of course, I would kindly ask you to note down any questions you may have, since myself and other staff members will be available to answer these questions during the coffee and cake with division segment, which we have later at the end of our event lunch today, where we can discuss more details. For providing some of the details, I would like to share my screen now with you and to present a few slides on Ufro. Yes, can you see my screen? All right.
Yes.
Yes.
So just to recall a little bit, Ufro is the global non-profit, non-governmental, and non-discriminatory scientific organization. And as we all know, it's not a spelling mistake that it was founded in 1892. Usually people always ask me saying, well, 1992. No, it's 1892. And you can imagine already at that time, global networking or networking between countries and scientists, bringing people together and knowledge has been a very, very advanced concept actually. So forest here was at the forefront of globalization or interconnecting different scientists, in this case, in the forestry field. You also know that we have 9 divisions of Ufro with different task forces, special programs, and we have more than 600 voluntary office holders placed all over the world in our member organizations, more than 650 member organizations. But they are so active and organizing on average over the last couple of years, 70 meetings per year. So a huge number of actually efforts made to bring different scientific groups together and to discuss regional, global, and local scientific issues. The divisional structure is the backbone of Ufro's work, actually. And over the decades, it has evolved now into a 9-division structure, starting from silviculture, so the traditional core body of knowledge in managing forests, via the more specialized physiology and genetics division, which has really advanced in the last couple of decades. Then the forest operation, engineering and management division, division 3, as well as the division 4 on forest assessment, modeling and management. Those sometimes people call it the silviculture on the basis of figures and statistics. So also an important division. Then, of course, the huge division on forest products, the downstream processing, the value added to the forest products, not only wood, but also non-wood and other products from forests. Well, and in the last couple of decades, social aspects of forests came into the play. It's a rather young scientific field. Then, of course, forest health, a huge important division now, giving all those impacts on forest because of climate change, because of global change, and division 8 with forest environment, as well as forest policy and economics. Before division 6 and 9 were together. Now they have been expanded in terms of social sciences and policy sciences and have been now in 2 different divisions. So these divisions actually, and if you look into zooming into such a division, you can see here, and it's just as an example, it can be any example from the more than 270 division working groups and working parties, that when you go to Division 7, for example, there are 2 research groups in Division 7, one on entomology, so those dealing with the insects, and those on pathology. So that show the fungi and all the other pathological phenomena in trees. So these are the 2 big research groups. And again, under pathology, if you would be interested in the pine wilt disease, for example, there are 11 working parties, and one of them, the so-called 702 and 10, is on pine wilt disease as a very specialized group on that particular issue. So the core of specialized discussions, exchange of research results, joint project is actually here taking place in the working parties. So the real information, the innovation, and the exchange takes place at the working party level. But of course, there are many meetings where different research groups are involved, or there are even interdivisional meetings where then different scientific fields are coming together, because as we all know, forest management, land use, restoration, and land management is a very much an integrated subject where socioeconomic, technical, biophysical, ecological information needs to come together. But the specific structure is this, as you can see here on the screen. And that is reflected also in our website. The current Ufro website provides you the possibility to zoom into each of these individual working parties where the actual scientific exchange and the work takes place. And here again, we put in the pine wilt disease working party 70210. And on that website, you can see the coordinators, who is coordinating the working party, the deputies. Here we have the whole range of people from France, Portugal, the Republic of Korea, and Japan. Yeah? So experts who say, well, we act as coordinators and we would like to drive the discussion, the connection between these people, to organize meetings, to get publications out and so on. So they are actually driving the work of the working party and of course representing also the working party within Ufro. On these websites, you find the activities of this working party and the events. You find resources, publications, and references. You find the expertise offered by the unit. Sometimes there are lists of scientists who are working in these units. There's a toolbox also where you find ways how to present Ufro. You can put in your own specific tools for analyzing, for doing research. And of course, you have the unit notice board where you can advertise latest publications, new meetings coming up, and important messages the working party would like to provide to the world. And this is open to anybody. So anybody actually entering Ufro can actually look at these things. Who is doing what? So trying to live up to our slogan, interconnecting forest, science, and people. This is important. Now, beside the huge network of scientific fields represented by the divisions, the research groups, and the working parties, we also have a few programs and projects. These are very small programs compared to the large scientific community worldwide. But these projects, most of them based at headquarters in Vienna, actually, range from the special program for development of capacities, the Global Forest Expert Panels program, the special project and World Forest Society and Environment, and the special program Directors Forum. I will get a little bit more details on capacity building later on, the 2 programs on global forest expert panels and special projects on world forest society environment are policy programs. They're analyzing current and future policy issues which are of concern to global, regional, and national policymakers, and trying to synthesize scientific information and offering solutions or offering options for solutions for these policy-related issues. The Special Program Directors Forum is a program that connects head of divisions, head of member institutions, and try here to work out better research management, better funding schemes, so to interconnect here those member organizations in the form of their directors and their research leaders in Ufro. Zooming into the Special Program for Development of Capacities is the oldest program in Ufro, started in 1983, offering the very famous Scientist Assistance Program, providing travel grants for scientists in Ufro to join Ufro meetings, mainly for early and for mid-career scientists. And over the last many years, actually since 2005, the Scientist Assistance Program was able to support around 100 scientists per year to go to Ufro meetings. Well, compared to the 70 to 90 meetings per year, this is very small, but at least we try to support our colleagues in economically disadvantaged regions to join and participate in Ufro. Over the years, then, the program has added training workshops to it to consolidate knowledge in terms of tools and methods of good science generation, science policy interfacing, science communication, and lately also to do thematic networking. So actually to practice networking, to bring science to stakeholders in various countries, and particularly in the frame of the work on forest landscape restoration. More recently, also the support to young forest scientists in the so-called Young Scientist Initiative has been created, which are short scientific visits to member organizations. It's a north, south, and of course, north-south exchange for joint learning of these young scientists. Of course, you are welcome to visit the Ufro website and discover Ufro, look for Ufro units and science in Ufro, find out who is who, and please contact the office holders. You can participate in Ufro co-sponsored events, read and contribute Ufro publications. It's all online, it's all available in the public, and please become a member and also become an office holder. Well, to become a member will benefit you, make global connections, find out what kind of research actually, or the same kind of research is done in other countries, in the different contexts, and maybe their ways of actually addressing things. One can a lot learn from these connections. Be eligible for Ufro awards. We have a Scientific Achievement Award, an Outstanding Doctoral Research Award, a Ufro Student Award for Excellence in Forest Science, and the Best Poster Award. These awards being provided at the Ufo Congress taking place every 5 years. Well, and also become a member, you have benefits from support through the Ufo Special Program for Development of Capacities. There are opportunities to participate in trainings and in networking meetings. And of course, the benefit from reduced registration fees for the members of the Ufo World Congresses. So the next taking place in Stockholm in 2024. But there are many more benefits actually, and I leave it up to you to find out these benefits also when joining and when actually involving in Ufro activities. Joining Ufro is easy. Find the application form at the link we show here. You can find them on the website. Just go to membership and there become a member. Membership fees for member organizations are moderate and take into account the situation of economies as well as the number of scientists employed. Everyone working for a member organization can join the benefits. And please, individual scientists who are working at a Ufro member organization are already member of Ufro, so they don't need to join in as individual members. Yeah? As we can see, it's possible if you work at an institution which is not a Ufro member, you can become also an individual member of Ufro. With this short run through Ufro, I would like to thank you. You can see here some of the connections in social media also to Ufro. And of course, we will very much look forward to hearing from you. With this, I would like to close my presentation. And I hope that this was a useful orientation. And of course, we can further discuss this in our meeting, Coffee and Cake, at the end of our session today. I'm just stopping my presentation now, and it's really a pleasure for me now to go to the next item on our agenda. It's actually the agenda about the Ufo World Congress 2024. It's our smørrebrød board, which is a kind of Swedish buffet, a delicious buffet introduced by Miss Marilyn Komberlitzer. She is the head of communications of the Ufo World Congress 2024, taking place in Stockholm. And thank you very much, Marilyn, for joining us for this lunch session with Ufo in Asia. And I would like to hand over the floor to you to give us a flavor of what the Ufo community and the science community in 2024 can expect from the Ufo World Congress in Stockholm. Please, Marilyn, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Michael. Just checking you can see my screen.
Yes, it works.
Thank you. It's a true honor for me to be part of this true global Ufo World Day event, enabling us all to connect and meet across the globe. And I'm very happy to welcome you to the next part of today's lunch session, the smørrebrød, as Michael told you, a typical Swedish way of enjoying several small dishes served as a buffet. In this context, translated to give you a sneak preview of the Ufo World Congress 2024, taking place in the summer in June in Stockholm, Sweden. And I will give you a glimpse and flavor of the upcoming Ufo World Congress, what to look forward to, and as we hope and believe, to become a very enjoyable, exciting event, certainly worth participating within and traveling to. The Ufo World Congress is one of the largest global forest-focused events, taking place in different regions around the globe every 5th year. It's like an Olympics. Last time it was held in Brazil, and before that in the US, and before that in other parts of the world. The Ufo network, as you know, is global, wide, and unique, filled with a tremendous amount of knowledge and research excellence. Maybe you ask, will my area of expertise and interest be included in this World Congress? For sure. The title of the upcoming Congress is Forests and Society Towards 2050. And it will cover a broad scope to enable us to set forest-related research matters in a global context. We see the Ufo World Congress as a unique platform for collaboration, to accelerate forest scientific knowledge exchange, to enable different stakeholders to meet, whether you come from science, industry and business, governmental agencies, or NGOs, to discuss global challenges, new demands, and innovative solutions to set the future roadmap for next generations. We will focus on the forest contribution in alignment to the 2030 Agenda and its 17 Sustainable Development Goals. But we also need to think even beyond this, plus 20 years and the future ahead. The broadness will be further expressed in the main Congress themes. These are not yet finally decided, though, but I will provide you a draft. Strengthening forest resilience and adaptation to stress. Forest biodiversity and its ecosystem services. Towards a responsible forest bioeconomy. Forest and sustainable societies. Forests for the future. I will take the opportunity to invite you to personally and actively take part on the journey as we have ahead of us, and to join this important and exciting event. As most of you already know, the Ufo World Congress has a solid scientific core and agenda built on research excellence, enabling deep dialogues and knowledge exchange during the full Congress week, filled with keynotes, plenary sessions, sub-plenary sessions, and thousands of presentations in the technical sessions. We invite you to contribute with your expertise so that we together can help streamlining the forest research agendas. You can influence the scientific program by sending, for example, a session proposal. A call for session proposals will be made the 1st of June next year. Or you can apply to give a presentation, and we will be happy to receive your abstract in the first half of 2023. But there are also more of interest at the smorgasbord. The World Congress will give you an excellent opportunity to experience the Northern Europe. There will be several in-Congress excursions, all starting from and ending in Stockholm. The part of this Congress, this part of the Congress will often be very memorable and appreciated, adding a great value. Since the Congress is not only a Swedish but a collaborative and Nordic-Baltic effort, you will also get the opportunity to get to know our neighboring countries. And we are very proud to offer you a program of post-Congress tours to all of our strong regional partners: Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Iceland, Latvia, Lithuania, and Norway. The post excursions will make an important contribution to the Congress program. And in the region, there is a tradition of Nordic and Baltic cross-border projects. The rich and diverse landscape of the Nordics and Baltic countries offers a variety of forest sites, as well as cultures, stakeholders, markets, and industries. The post-Congress tours will be presented through different themes. For example, the sandy peninsula in the Baltic Sea, welcoming you to Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Forestry in a treeless land, inviting you to Iceland. From coast to coast, giving you the opportunity to get to know Norway and Sweden. From tree to table, traveling to the south of Sweden and Denmark. Under the midnight sun, heading to the north of Finland and Sweden. We organizers invite you to take the chance to participate in the dialogue on the future of global forests. and welcome you to join the journey we have ahead of us. This occasion will also give you a superb opportunity to expand your professional network, to learn more, experience a new geography, and last but not least, to have great fun together and make some new friends. Let us co-create with the aim of sustainable future for forest, climate, and society. So we ask you to please keep yourself updated via the Congress website regarding calls for sessions and abstracts, as well as other upcoming news. And further on, there will also be other channels to follow. To give you a visual teaser of the upcoming Ufo World Congress and to frame our invitation, I would like to share a short video. It's less than 2 minutes long, so please stay until it ends. But before it starts, I would like to thank you very much for your attention, and I hope to see you and meet you in Stockholm. Thank you. Please, Michael, you can run the video. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Marilyn, for this excellent presentation. It really makes one hungry to go to Northern Europe and to enjoy the Congress. So thank you very much for joining us today and presenting the Ufro Congress 24 then in Stockholm. Dear colleagues, I would like to invite you, when you have any further questions about the Congress in 2024, and to have questions to the organizing team, please write them into the chat, and we will definitely get answers for you in case there's anything you might like to know, further to know on the Congress in 2024. With this, I would like to conclude now this segment of the lunch with the Ufro session, and I would like to thank all the speakers for actually elaborating on Ufro and showing what Ufro is. And I would like to pass on the moderation now to our youth moderator for the next item in our menu. Please, Daniel, I would like to hand over to you. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Michael. As Michael mentioned, my name is Daniel. I'm a project manager at the Ufro headquarters, and I'm delighted to moderate the youthful cuisine component of this plenary session. So during this piece, we'll hear from some scientists. They're at different career stages, and they're going to tell us about their experience in Ufro and with Ufro. So after the presentations, we'll just have a round of Q&A. So I would like to just say that if anyone has a question during a presentation, then please just note down your question, and we'll address this when the floor is open. So I would like to give the floor to our first speaker, Li Chao Zhao. He's an associate professor at the Research Institute of Wood Industry at the Chinese Academy of Forestry. He is also the deputy coordinator of Working Party on Multidisciplinary Identification of Wood, and won an award that Michael mentioned earlier, which was the Outstanding Doctoral Research Award. So with that, I hand the floor over to you, Li Chao. It's all yours.
Is the slide is okay?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Li Chao Zhao from Research Institute of Wood Industry, Chinese Academy of Forestry. Firstly, thanks the organizers of Ufo World Day, and thanks project manager Carla and Gerda to invite me as one of the speakers as a youth component, and also thanks moderator Daniel to arrange the session. My research field is promoting developing and sustainable supply chain of forest products through developing innovative and accurate wood identification tools like genetic methods. Under the current global green and low carbon background, it is particularly critical to achieve sustainable development and utilization of wood resources, and wood traceability will become one of the important tools. The development of our personnel could not be separated from the power of the platform. Ufo, a huge platform, is interconnecting both science and earth. I'm extremely fortunate to be a part of Ufo, since it's given me great help in my research activities. Here, I will share my experience with Ufo. The link between Ufo and me began with participation in relevant international academic conference. In 2016, I participated in the Ufo Regional Congress for Asia and Oceania held in Beijing, China, and made an orange plantation. In 2017, I participated in the All Division 5 Conference of the Ufo in Vancouver of Canada, and also made an orange plantation. My plantation in these academic activities has strengthened my relationship with Ufo. In 2019, the IWFRO International Symposium, Challenges and Opportunities for Updating Wood Identification was held in China. As the secretary of organizing committee of this symposium, I participated in the proper work of the conference, which improved my ability of organization and coordination. In October 2019, I participated in the 25th Ufo World Congress held in Curitiba, Brazil. In this Congress, I was honored to win Ufo Outstanding Doctoral Research Award due to my doctoral research within the field of DNA-based wood education and actively participating in the Ufo academic activities. This award is a great prize for my scientific research work, which brings me a great motivation and confidence when facing the difficulties and challenges on the road of scientific research. In 2020, I was honored to be selected as one of the deputy coordinators of Work Party 5.16.3 Multidisciplinary Identification of Wood, Division 5. Recently, the research group 5.16 Wood Education prepared a technical session entitled Advancing Wood Education to Promote a Sustainable Supply Chain of Forest Products for the Ufo World Day. Welcome your active attention. So about achievements could not have been achieved without the support and help from Ufo. Through the Ufo, I could gain more motivation and enthusiasm to take part in the international academic activities. These activities will expand our international association vision and provide us more confidence to meet the challenges ahead. Finally, welcome more young scholars to join the Ufo family. Let Ufo connect you, me, and other scientists globally to work together for achieving the goal of the sustainable development between human beings and nature. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Lichao. Excellent presentation.
Thank you so much.
I would like to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Marilyn Komberlitzer. She is an associate professor at the Department of Forest Biological Sciences at the University of Los Baños in the Philippines. And she's been a crucial player in many projects by UFRO and other organizations such as UFRO. So Marilyn, I would like to hear from you. The floor is yours, and feel free to share your presentation if you have one.
Okay, good day, everyone. I am Marilyn Komberlitzer from Philippines, and let me share with you my experience with UFRO and how UFRO has contributed in the development of my career as a faculty and a researcher. I was then familiar with the UFRO when I was in college, as I heard from my previous professors. But my first real encounter with UFRO was when I joined the UFRO SPDC, or Special Program for Developing Countries training during the Ufo World Congress held in Brisbane, Australia in 2005. It was my first time to travel in the Southern Hemisphere. I just finished my Master of Science in Forestry at the time at Seoul National University, Korea, under the supervision of Professor Don Cooley, who was the Vice President for Policy of UFRO at that time. I was very excited and very eager to learn more about UFRO. It was an unforgettable experience joining the Congress, training, and even in Congress tour, and to be with other young researchers from other parts of the world. Year 2007, when I pursued my Doctor of Philosophy in Forest Environmental Science in Korea again, and that gave me a lot of experiences working with UFRO. When my professor became the president of UFRO, I had the opportunity to work with him and learn more about UFRO goals, the organizational structures, programs like SPDC and GFIS, or the Global Forest Information Service, task forces, and divisions. I also became part of the working team on a series of book publications in partnership with the ASEAN-Korea Environmental Cooperation Project and UFRO with Dr. Michael Klein. This is entitled the Keep Asia Green. It includes a forest rehabilitation and restoration efforts in the Asian region, such as Southeast, Northeast, South, and West Central Asia. It was a very good experience working with the scientists and researchers in Asian region, a very noble undertaking and useful reference materials for those working in forestry. Then came the Ufo World Congress in 2010 in Korea, I became part of this momentous event, which was attended by thousands of participants all over the world. From assisting the president in preparation for the Congress and helping in various side events, I learned many things about forestry in the international scheme. And I learned to value the importance of collaboration, communication, and networking. Back to Philippines, working in the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, after finishing my PhD, I was able to join again the Ufro SPDC training for the second time, but now on research methods. And it was held in the Snowbird, Salt Lake, USA. A different kind of learning, culture, and experience, and meeting old and new friends. The recent one I participated in was the Ufro SPDC training on systematic reviews in Curitiba, Brazil. But this time I joined the Ufro World Congress, not just a participant on an oral or poster presentation, but I had the opportunity to represent my country, the Philippines, in the International Council meeting held during that Congress. All of the training programs and activities of Ufro that I attended helped me to increase my knowledge and learnings and to develop my capacity as individual. I was able to apply those in doing my research and teaching. From just a simple graduate student, now I'm an associate professor in my university, and I am now representing my institution and the country in the International Council of Ufro. Thank you very much to Ufro. Thank you for the opportunities joining the Ufro activities, especially to the Scientist Assistance Program. And thank you for the lifelong learnings that I cannot forget. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marilyn. That was very interesting. So our next and final speaker is Professor Vasu Islam. He's a highly qualified forester at the Kuna University in Bangladesh, and he has multiple research foci. The first is in wood technology, and the second is on nature-based tourism, which I think is something very interesting to all of us. So with such an impressive publication record, I would be honored to hear from him. So Professor Islam, the floor is yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Very good morning from my place, Kuna, Bangladesh. I'm just very close to the world's largest mangrove forest, which is Sundarbans, which is only 50 kilometers away from my place. So once again, greetings on the Ufro World Day 2021. So this is my great pleasure to represent myself and also to encourage the youth or early career scientists, researchers in this program. So as mentioned that I'm working in forestry and technology discipline of Kuna University in Bangladesh. So I started my journey with Ufro with reading different research articles, newsletters, which are regularly published by Ufro, which are easily accessible to Ufro website. And you all know, particularly the audience of the early researchers, which really helped me to know about the latest or updated research about forest science. And then I physically participated 23rd Ufro World Congress, which held in Seoul in 2010. So that was the first entry point to participate in any physical event organized by Ufro. It helped me a lot by presenting my research findings in front of the, the prominent scientists, researcher from all over the world, and that made me more interested to participate more in further different Ufro events. And from that consequences, I participated the next Ufro World Congress, which was held in Salt Lake, USA in 2014. But unfortunately, at that time, I couldn't join physically at that Congress due to my presence or due to my enrollment in my PhD. At that time, I was in Australia, so I was not able to get the fund from SPDC. And without the fund, it was quite impossible to attend the event. But 5 of my abstracts with my co-authors were published in the compendium of the Congress. And then just 2 years back, I also participated in the SPDC pre-Congress training workshop on systematic review, systematic literature review. And then I also participated in 25th Ufro World Congress in 2009 in Curitiba, Brazil, like Marilyn. So that was fantastic experiences. I will share what I learned. And I'm also looking forward to Stockholm in 2014 if I get some fund to attend the event. So what benefit I received from Ufro events? In fact, it helped me a lot to make the network, to connect with researchers, scientists from all over the country. And very frequently, I meet with those researchers in different events in the world. Like I just met with Marilyn from Philippines. I met her in the Congress. And I met Professor Joyce just a few weeks back in other Congress. So it's a nice and memorable, piece of memory to cherish. And that actually helped me to do some good research and to share different research ideas and to make some joint project. So that enlightened me a lot to build up my further research career. And due to the funding from SPDC, actually it created those avenues to participate all those training program and Ufro Congress. So it helped me a lot to build up my capacity and my further research ideas. And hopefully it will be increased in future so that I can more capitalize all those knowledge and skills to teach my students, my fellow, my colleagues, and others. I really thank SPDC for their different innovative activities, which really help different early researchers or scientists, and you can have the access of SPDC website or link through their address where they can update different types of events. These are really helpful. And the publication link of Ufro website, that is very useful. So the audience who are particularly the early career or early researchers, I will strongly encourage you to go through the publication link where you can find different types of newsletter, news, some reports, summaries, policy briefs. There are a lot of things, so you can visit, and that might be very much thought-provoking for linking with other researchers, other scientists, and that will also update you about the different future events, upcoming events, and different types of opportunities. So that's all from my end. I'm looking forward to build up my linkage, my network through Ufro, in future, so that I can be more benefited from this network, this platform. And I love Ufro for their dynamic leadership in forest science to connect forest science and people, and also policy. Thank you very much. Over to you, Daniel.
Thank you, Vasu. We love hearing these stories. They're very inspiring to us, and especially the SPDC, as the SPDC maybe provides a little bit of support for these scientists. The SPDC's capacity for development also develops in parallel as we do this. So we'll keep doing this as much as possible. Now I would like to open the floor for any questions or comments. Feel free to jump in, or put your hand up, or just write something in the chat box, and then I will ask the question on your behalf. So I do have a question. Maybe at the risk of putting you all on the spot, I would like to ask you, just like you were introduced to Ufro at one stage, have you introduced anyone else to Ufro? If anyone wants to volunteer, we would love to hear a story like that too.
Yeah, I can introduce. I can start. Yes, because as I mean, being the teacher, before going to any congress, any event of Ufro, I announce it in front of my students, my colleagues, that I am going to that event to take part that or to present that research activities. And after returning back, I also share with my students, my colleagues, that I have presented that. I will also share the pictures so that they might also be interested to take part in future. So yes, I do, and many of them are interested to take part all those events, and some of them have already participated. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we appreciate this. Okay, so who's got a question? Or Marilyn, please.
Yes, same with Vasu. I also introduced Ufro to my colleagues in the university, and even I encourage my students to join the IFSA because that's their starting point, and then for them to be updated on the announcements of Ufro, to join the different events of Ufro, especially the Ufo World Congress, and take the opportunity to be part of that very important event.
Thank you, Marilyn. IFSA was also an entry point for me. That's how I learned about Ufro.
Mm-hmm.
So then I have another question from a separate channel. A question for Li Qiao. So Anonymous asks, based on your experience, is there anything in particular that you would encourage people starting their careers to do, or a specific path to follow? That's a difficult question, I'm sorry.
Okay. So, thanks for the question. I think a good beginning is the heart of success. So first of all, we should choose and determine the research direction as soon as possible. Secondly, we must read thoroughly, ask more questions, and at the same time, I think we should be good at summarizing. In addition, when encountering difficulties and challenges, face them calmly and not get discouraged. I think there is no shortcut to success. We must persevere. Finally, I wish the young scholars every success. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Li Qiao.
Thank you.
That was great. So I have a question for Marilyn.
Yes.
What do you think is the best way to connect and stay in touch with people within the forestry world?
Okay, thank you, Damien. For me, the best way to connect and stay in touch with people within the forestry is to collaborate with the people you meet, especially during the Ufo World Congress and other activities. And in my case, I'm fortunate to have a professor who is involved in Ufo. And when he became the president, he encouraged us to join the Ufo activities. And through that, through my participation in Ufo activities, I was able to expand my network and linkages.
Okay, very good. Thank you. A question for Vasu. How do you think having an extensive network of international peers and colleagues has impacted your career thus far?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it depends. Actually, Ufro definitely creates that opportunity to interact with different peers and researchers from all over the world. And then if we want to maintain that network, then I think the regular communication is the only tool. So through email, or if we have any query regarding their research or to build up any research ideas, so we can easily communicate with them through either social media or email or LinkedIn or any other social media. Nowadays, it is very easy. So this, I think this is very helpful, but some of them actually, I'm sorry to say that they are not that. I mean, of course they are busy. So sometimes due to their non-responsive attitude, sometimes it creates problem and it creates the early researchers little bit depressed that I knocked someone, but he didn't or she didn't respond. But most of the cases, I got positive responses. And it is possible. I think this is a great opportunity through attending all those events. Thank you.
It's interesting that you mentioned social media, because that's basically what I've been hearing in all the sessions that I've been in the World Day, is the importance of social media. So I think it is a very valuable tool. And if it's utilized correctly, then it's very powerful. Another thing that I've been hearing repetitively is the importance of multidisciplinary research. And Vasyul, I think that you are like a pioneer in this. And I think more institutions, it seems that some of them are not so open to it, but I would, if any one of you would be willing to tell me about maybe an example of where multidisciplinary research actually showed some great advantage, I would love to hear that too, if there are any stories.
May I start?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, yes, due to attending all those events, there are some developments, not only with the not only the networking with the researchers or scientists who are attending to the Ufro, but also due to publishing in social medias, some other researchers, they can also be in touch about all those developments. And some of them already knocked me, and 2-3 new projects are going on right now through all those different networks. So currently I'm working with one of the associate professors of Griffith University in Australia, where we are working on tourism governance in the Sundarbans. And there are some pipeline, research proposal, but we are waiting for the source of funding. Otherwise, we are in advanced stage. Only the funding is the problem. So, and there are some other small projects. It doesn't need so much money, so it needs only the field cost, field trip, survey cost. So we can easily engage our students, because students they also need to do their thesis for their undergraduate program or for their master's program. So we try to involve the students for collecting those data and to implement those new research ideas. Thank you.
Thank you, Vasu. So our time is up. I would like to give a big thanks to all of our speakers. These stories were great. These ideas of entry points into Ufro and participating in all of these collaborations. This is very good information. And I would invite you to join many sessions during the World Day, because as we all have our own specific interests and ambitions, I'm sure that there is something for you on the schedule, or as John called it, the menu. So you can find the program of the sessions in the chat box, and I'll close this session or sub-session and hand over to Michael. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much for this useful cuisine, where actually a network like Ufro actually thrives and lives from the regeneration, actually, as we know from forests, the diversity of regeneration, the vibrant growth. So I think it was a very good example of how actually Ufro can and is able also to rejuvenate and bring in new people in. And of course, thanks to this very, very informative session, and for all the speakers and the stories they have shared with us. Now, the next item on the program is the so-called quiz surprise, which consists of a few short questions relating to the topic of today, lunch with Ufro session. So we will run a quiz, and the winner, we have the option of choosing one of two prize vouchers offered by the Center for Agriculture and Bioscience International, CABI, a non-profit international intergovernment development and information organization focusing primarily on agriculture and the environment. So there are two vouchers now as the prize for this quiz. One voucher is free publication of one journal article in the CABI Agriculture and Bioscience, an open access journal focused on interdisciplinary research. And the second option is a CABI English language editing support. So these, I think, are excellent prizes for our quiz. So this quiz can be completed by opening the link shared in the chat box, submitting your name and contact information, and completing 7 questions related to the topics of this session. So if you have listened carefully, I think there should be no problem actually in answering these questions. The person who submits the most correct answers and the best estimate will win. We do have a time limit of 5 minutes to complete the quiz, but speed is not a factor in determining the winner. So you have the 5 minutes actually to do that. Please be sure to submit your answers via the link provided in the chat box on that form. So the link is now provided in the chat box, and we will show a 5-minute countdown. And while to complete the quiz, you can do this in your own space, but also I will read out the questions, and you can then also put your answers into the form. So I will read now the 5 questions, but overall you have 5 minutes to answer the questions. First one is, what is Ufro's slogan? Is it the global advocate for forest-related research? Or B, forest and forest products research for all? C, connecting forest research and humanity? Or D, interconnecting forest science and people? The second question, which anniversary did Ufro celebrate in 2017? Was it the 125th year's anniversary, Was it 100 years? Was it 50 years? Or was it 25 years? The third question is, which of Ufro's special programs and projects manages the Scientist Assistance Program, the SAP? Is it the WFSC Special Project on World Forest Society and Environment? Is it the Special Program for Development of Capacities? Is it the Global Forest Expert Panels? Or is it the Special Program Directors Forum Ufro SPDF? Now, the fourth question is, which of these is not an Ufro award for scientific achievements? The Student Award for Excellence in Forest Science, the Scientific Achievement Award, the Best Paper Award, or Outstanding Doctoral Research Award. The fifth question relates to how to find Ufro on social media, what to look for Ufro Media, for @Ufro, for Ufro-Tree Research, or D, option A and B. The sixth question is, which of the following Ufro units focuses on advancing interdisciplinary cooperation in forest research? Are these the task forces, the divisions, the working parties, or the research groups? And the final question with an estimate is, how many horse chestnuts are in the jar? Please enter your best estimate. So there is now 1 minute left for answering the questions. Yes, and there are now 30 seconds remaining to submit the quiz. Please be sure to submit your response, as we will be announcing the winner in just a few minutes. Right, the time is now up. And dear colleagues, while we are now waiting for the winner to be identified, let's listen to a piece of music by Priya Parotta entitled Wayfinder. And we thank Priya Parotta for this very kind pro bono contribution. Wonderful music. So thank you again, Priya Parotta, for this very, very kind pro bono contribution of this wonderful music piece, as well as the wonderful pictures associated with this. Thank you to everyone who participated in our quiz. You have shown that you have indeed know a lot about Ufro. In case you are curious, we will share the correct answers via our communication channels now, later on the day, after this final lunch with Ufro. If you are checking social media, please watch out for the hashtag Ufo World Day. Without further ado, we would like now to announce the winner. It is Nian Chan, and I guess from Myanmar. Congratulations. We will contact you via the email address provided so that you can claim your prize. So again, congratulations for this winning and for so diligently answering all the questions. Perfect. Congratulations. With this, we now enter into the final leg of our lunch with Ufro. It's the coffee and cake with divisions. Dear colleagues, we will start with our final menu now, coffee and cake with divisions. And in this segment, we will have poster presentations. And it is in a flexible online platform to enable participants to discuss, interact, and raise questions. So it's really networking at its best. We have set up 5 rooms in the platform, which is called Spatial Chat. The capacity of this spatial chat is limited. So in case you are not able to immediately access the platform, we suggest taking a short break or getting a coffee or tea and then trying it again. I hope you are as excited as I am about moving to a really interactive segment now. And I would like to once again thank all the participants and all the speakers, and of course, all the technical and content background teams who have helped actually to make this session possible. And with this, I would like to hand over to our technical team led by Maximilian Wagner for further technical details in accessing the spatial chat and for the breakout in coffee and cake with the decisions. Hand over to you, Maximilian. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dear participants, as you've heard, we're going to switch platforms now. And in order to have an easy transition, I would like to show you briefly the new platform and the most important functions. And then after my presentation, you can jump over to the new platform. This platform is quite easy to use. Just one thing that I want to mention, you need, before you enter this platform, you need to exit the Zoom session. That's why I'm showing you the platform beforehand. So afterwards, you can exit the Zoom session and then open your browser at the provided link and get into the new platform. Once you do that, you're greeted with a screen where you can enter your name, and then you just click continue. And now it's very important that you allow the microphone and video to be accessed by your browser in order for the system to work. And then you can just join the space. And once you do that, you're greeted you're greeted in the lobby where you can find an overview over the different floors that we have prepared for you. You are a little circle that you can move around. And once you get close to other people, then you are able to hear them and you can also speak with them once you move away from people, you cannot hear them or cannot speak to them. So it's just like a real conference room where you get close to people and talk to them and then move away and listen to someone else or have another discussion. If you want to move floors, you can simply click on the right-hand side on one of the floors in order to jump. And again, you can move the canvas to see the surrounding, and you can also use the zoom out function to see more of the screen. Just like in Zoom, you have the little microphone button, and you can also switch inputs if you're having trouble, if you have more than one microphone. So you need to choose the devices that you want to use. If anything goes wrong, you can just reload the page, and then you can reset up everything, including your devices. This Zoom session will stay open. So if you have any troubles, you can always re-enter this Zoom session with the provided link. I will be here. I will try to help you with any technical stuff. I'm also in the lobby of the spatial chat if you're getting stuck in the spatial chat. But I think those are the most important function that you need in order to use it. Otherwise, you can just play around in the platform, have fruitful and interesting discussions, check out the different divisions who will present to you. And yes, with this technical input, the link is now in the chat. I wish you very interesting poster presentations and coffee and cake.